Helen, what was your early life like?
I lived with my mother and father and a younger sister, and in a nice neighborhood, and we had a dog. I had teachers who were important, and Sunday school teacher who was very important at the time. My dad built or had built a playground kind of thing in the backyard, and so we were sort of the center of the neighborhood for for doing circus.
And Ralph, how about you? What was your early life like?
It was entirely different from Helen's. I grew up with my grandparents, and I didn't know my father or my mother because they got divorced before I was born. My grandfather was a great man, though. He was a superintendent of the Atomic Public Schools, and that's where he earned his living and made enough to build this nice house. And that's what I lived in for the first 4 or 5 years of my life.
What religion were the two of you raised in, and how did that influence you?
Well, I belonged to the First Community Church in Joplin, Missouri, and it was a very nice, friendly place. It was important in our lives. We went to Sunday school and activities that they had at the church. So, yes, the church and the minister were important.
Ralph?
I grew up the first 4 years of my life with my grandparents, and they were Quakers, Society of Friends. The silent meetings, I remember the silent meetings, but I don't remember what was said. I was too young to hear.
So, Helen, I understand that you taught library science at the University of Michigan, and Ralph was a dentist in Ann Arbor. How did the two of you meet?
Well, we met at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ann Arbor. And they had, as a part of the program, activities in the evening, a kind of a dance get-together. But first there were discussion groups, and we were in discussion groups, and then kind of a party thing afterwards. And Ralph and I ended up in the same discussion group, and then we talked, and he asked if I'd like to go walking the next day. And we did.
That's wonderful. You said you were at the Unitarian Church, so you obviously
Yes.
had become a Unitarian. How did that happen?
Well, as I said, I had been part of the community church in my earlier life, and then I had joined the Unitarian Church in Ann Arbor when I was in college.
How did you make your way to the Unitarian Church?
Well, I was in Ann Arbor. I was walking by the church, and I went in just to see what was going on in the Unitarian Church. And here was the minister talking about something I was so glad to hear, that he was against the war in Vietnam. And so was I. And anyone I talked to, you must be a communist. And I got so tired of that expression that I was glad to find somebody who would support my ideas.
And what caused the two of you to move to Santa Fe?
We lived in Ann Arbor for quite a while, but when I retired from the university and Ralph retired from the state of Michigan, we decided that we wanted to be further south and we wanted to be in a warmer climate, and we had been to Santa Fe and decided that was the place for us.
Everything seemed so pleasant about this town that we wanted to be here. And so we bought a house in 1986, moved in town in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
we've been here ever since.
So you were president of the church. I remember when you were president of the church. You may have been president more than one time. I don't know. Just
No, I don't
once
think
was enough?
so.
I believe you were president when they did the expansion of the church into Fellowship Hall.
Yes, I think that's true. It's a little fuzzy, but yeah.
And there's a stool here for the podium that is called Helen's stool. How did that come about?
As I remember it, you know, I'm pretty short, and so the stool helped me to be up higher.
First time she talked behind the podium, all we saw was the podium.
So why are the two of you still a member of UU Santa Fe?
Well, it means a great deal to me, and it has over the years. This has been quite a long time. We came to Santa Fe in 1989 and joined the church soon after. It is certainly something that is a part of my daily life.
I've joined the men's group and enjoyed that. And activities where you're working with other people is very fine. Brings out your personality a little bit better when you can do that.
Well, what life lessons would you like to share with other people?
Just getting along with other people would be just fine. And accept people the way they are and don't try and change them. Just accept everything that they do as okay if it's in the realm of decency.
I think it's important to listen to people and to learn what they're doing and what they think. And there's a lot of interchange that goes on here. And the activities that we have here are very important, as are the sermons. We come regularly, and we would not like to stop.
Is there something that we've missed asking you?
Helen says things so much better than I do that listen, that's made our marriage so long and so good.
How long have you been married?
1976 we were married.
Okay. Quite
So
a
you
while.
do the math.
Not me. Thank you for the interview.
This was fun.